Hello everyone, greetings from Team Carboning from Burhanu Sandip School. My name is Maurice.
I am Arefa.
I am Luai.
And I am Fatima.
As the youth of today and the rulers of tomorrow, we are highly disturbed by the way the influencers around the world are reacting to the rapid changes our environment is undergoing, which is why we decided to take part in this initiative to contribute in any way that we can to make our earth a better place to live in.
Before we start with what our narrowed problem is, let's have a look at what all these narrow problems cause overall. Global warming. Global warming is the increase in Earth's average surface temperature due to greenhouse gases that collect in the atmosphere like a thickening blanket, trapping the sun's heat and causing the planet to warm up. The planet's average surface temperature has risen about 2.05 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 1.14 degrees Celsius since the late 19th century, a change driven largely by increased carbon dioxide and other human-made emissions into the atmosphere.
Looking back at the year that just passed, we can see the lasting impact our actions have left on Mother Earth. Here are a few. Ocean heat is at record levels, and more than 80% of the global ocean experienced a marine heat wave at some time in 2020. Reports, which have contributions from dozens of international organizations and experts, show how high impact events including extreme heat, wildfires, and floods, as well as the record breaking Atlantic hurricane season, affected millions of people, compounding threats to human health, security, and economic stability.
Despite the COVID-19 lockdown, atmospheric concentrations of greenhouse gases continue to rise, committing the planet to further warming for many generations to come because of the long lifetime of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Because of the reasons stated above, we invented Carbon Inc. This focuses on the emissions that are released from the vehicles that we use to travel places.
Before we move on with the product, it is important to understand why we felt the need to address this common but often looked upon issue, car emissions and how much they contribute to global warming.
Our personal vehicles are a major cause of global warming. The automobile has become such an inherent part of our lives that many of us overlook the fact that it has been silently contributing to one of the most pressing problems worldwide, global warming. The number of cars on Earth exceeds 1 billion. The main danger of the chemical components contained in the exhaust gases is that the components are so small that they are absorbed into the blood through the lung tissues and have a very harmful effect on various human organs. Pollution of the atmosphere leads to a decrease in oxygen and an increase in carbon dioxide, which entails a number of stable weather changes. Researchers of scientists show that from year to year the maintenance of carbonic gas in atmosphere increases. This leads to the so-called greenhouse effect, which in turn will lead to significant climate change.
30% of all carbon emissions come from the transport industry and around 40% of it comes from heavy duty vehicles, which is the industry that we have mainly targeted for our product.
What exactly are carbon emissions? The term carbon emissions is usually synonymous to the term greenhouse gases. These gases include carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, ozone, and water vapor. When they are released, say by a car, the gases flow up into the atmosphere where they trap the sun's heat. The average global temperature goes up and the resultant long-term heating of the Earth's climate.
One particular element or problem that is often looked upon is the production of soot from these vehicles that harms our earth on a daily basis. Soot or black carbon may be responsible for 15 to 30% of global warming. Yet, it's not even considered in any of the discussions about controlling climate change, says Stanford professor Mark Jacobson.
The contribution of soot to global warming is much higher than previously thought. according to a comprehensive assessment that ranks black carbon second only to carbon dioxide in terms of its warming impact on the current climate.
Because of this issue, where so many dangerous emissions are released from vehicles, we have come up with a solution that we hope would create a difference in our society. But before that, let us look into how a car exhaust system works.
Hot gases and sound waves are produced by the engine during the process of incomplete combustion. The sound waves and hot exhaust gases move from the exhaust manifold to the catalytic converter to the pipe. Due to partial combustion, the gases entering inside the catalytic converter consist of a mixture of carbon monoxide, unburned hydrocarbons and oxides of nitrogen, which are very harmful to the environment. The catalytic converter consists of two ceramic blocks, one made out of platinum and rhodium and the other made of platinum and palladium, acting as catalysts. The toxic gases enter the first ceramic block and heat up simultaneously. This causes the catalyst to react with the toxic gases. The oxides of nitrogen are the first to react with the catalyst. They separate into nitrogen and oxygen, N2 and O2, respectively. The gases now flow through the second ceramic block, where they react with platinum and palladium. The gases are now nitrogen, carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons and oxygens. The gas now flows through the microducts of the second ceramic block. Here, the carbon monoxide reacts with oxygen molecules to form carbon dioxide, CO2. Which gives the chemical equation CO plus O gives CO2. Then the unburned hydrocarbons also react with oxygen, this time to form water and carbon dioxide. The exhaust gas now becomes less toxic and comes out of the catalytic converter having a mixture of carbon dioxide, nitrogen and water vapor. The gas then flows through the muffler where the sound waves are destroyed using friction. Finally, the exhaust gases, consisting of less harmful gases along with the considerably low sound waves, move out of the tailpipe into the atmosphere.
Now that we know how these gases are released, you can better understand how our solution will work. We all know that calcium hydroxide, also known as lime water, is a very effective carbon dioxide absorber. However, to make our product more efficient, we needed something even better. Therefore, we turned to soda lime. This solid is generally a white or greyish colored solid.
The main components of soda lime are about 75% of calcium hydroxide, 20% of water, 3% of sodium hydroxide, and about 1% of potassium hydroxide. These solid granules are much more effective than just lime water and can absorb carbon dioxide much more rapidly as well. The way soda lime works is the CO2 reacts with sodium hydroxide to form sodium bicarbonate. The sodium bicarbonate then reacts with the calcium hydroxide catalyst.
In order to make a product even more powerful, we started looking for more solutions, and we found that up to 80% of all the particles given out by vehicles are electrically charged. Thus, using the theory of opposites attract.
We decided to put charged mesh plates in carbon ink tube. a positively charged aluminium mesh and a negatively charged polyester mesh. The theory being that all charged particles will stick onto the oppositely charged mesh plates as soot and cannot escape to the open air.
Our product will have a body made of borosilicate glass coated with stainless steel. It will consist of two tubes of different diameters. Soda lime granules in partially permeable sachets will be placed in the free space in between the tubes. The inner tube
The
will have uniform holes in them for the carbon dioxide to come in contact.
3 positively charged aluminium meshes and 3 negatively charged polyester meshes will be placed in the tube. This will help in separating the harmful emissions and will store them in the pipe, which can then be removed from there and perhaps even be used for something else. The remaining soot could be used for various other things. We found one thing it could be used for. The remaining soot could be used to make ink, recycled ink.
Here's an interesting story we found about the birth of recycled ink. On a trip to India in 2012, Anirudh Sharma captured a photo of a diesel generator blowing black soot against a white wall. That dark triangular stain made Sharma, who was then a student at Massachusetts Institute of Technology's Media Lab, think seriously about pollution and also about pigments like ink.
He once said, "The black color in the pen you use is made by burning fossil fuels to make ink. But you shouldn't need to burn new fossil fuels just to make ink. Fossil fuels are already being burned." He found a way to capture the particles that produce the stain on the wall in the picture. Through this, he did not only reduce the amount of pollution released into the air, but also turned it into something new, something useful, and maybe even something beautiful. That's how the recyclable ink was created.
We need not only the youth of today, but all of mankind to come together to fix this issue before we realize it's too late. The issue of global warming. The point we tried to bring out here was only a small fraction of the whole problem. As the citizens of this beautiful country, Sri Lanka, it's quite saddening to see the beauty of a country erode away simply because of the lack of empathy in those who can make a change but don't.
We hope we are able to bring the littlest of change from what we did here. We extend our appreciation to all the organizers for giving us the opportunity to showcase our contribution to make Mother Earth a better place to live in. For our parents, for our children, for ourselves. Last but not least, a sincere thanks goes out to our teachers who helped us from the very beginning. Today, it's a minority of us looking at this issue and fighting for it. We hope to see the nation coming together for it one day.
And never forget, pollution is nothing but resources we're not harvesting. We allow them to disperse because we've been ignorant of their value. Thank you.